Hey there, so today I am here in Draper, Utah, and we are going to be talking about the pros and cons of living here in this city, and we're going to go ahead and get started right now. Mariah here. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if this is your very first time here. This channel is literally everything you need to know about eating, working, playing, sleeping, and living in the Salt Lake City, Utah area. If that is of interest to you, consider subscribing down below so you don't miss our weekly videos. We hear from people like you all the time who are looking to make a move or relocating here to Utah, and we absolutely love it. So if you are thinking about making a move in a month, in 3 months, in a year from now, feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email, and it would be our pleasure to connect with you. Hey there, so today we are going to be talking about Draper, Utah, which is located just about 20 minutes south of Salt Lake City. You can tell I'm up here, and one of the main pros of living here in the Draper area, and you're gonna see bike riders riding by and runners and hikers and all of that kind of thing. If you are into the outdoors, this is a fantastic location for biking, for hiking, for walking, for running, really you name it. There are a ton, there are hundreds of miles of trails up here in Draper. So the outdoor activities really here are endless. So if you are into the outdoors and you've got pets and you want to take your dogs walking, there are so many people walking their dogs here. There are parks nearby. So the outdoor activities here in Draper are a huge pro. All right, so hopping right into a con of living here in the Draper area, you're gonna notice it is windy. It ends up being, sometimes the winds just really pick up depending on where you are in the Draper area. There is an area called Suncrest, which has absolutely spectacular views of Utah Lake and just a lot of the surrounding areas. You've got bird's eye view of a lot of different things, but because you're at a higher elevation up here in certain areas of Draper, those winds, depending on the type of day or the time of day, they will really pick up and you'll definitely notice it. So something to just be aware of. If you're not really into the wind, then maybe Draper might not be the best spot for you, but again, spectacular views. So something to keep in mind. Number 2 pro for living here in Draper is just the convenience of where Draper is located. There are a lot of people that live in Draper but work in Lehi, work in Provo, work in Salt Lake City, or even north of that. Some even live in parks or work in Park City. So Draper is really a convenient location just for accessibility to different things. There are a lot of people in Draper that their children go to elementary school and high school. Some of them will go down in Highland or Alpine, down in that area. Some will stay here in Draper, but so just the accessibility is great. And speaking of accessibility, in Draper is about 25 minutes away from the Salt Lake City International Airport. So that is a big pro for a lot of people living here and those who like to travel. And if you commute, the airport is very convenient. So convenience, number 2 for living here in Draper. A con for living in Draper, number 2, is going to be that during the winter time here, the snow, you end up getting a lot more snow, especially up in the in the Suncrest area where I actually am right now. It's gorgeous, but the snow banks that you will see up here, it snows a lot more, and the snow sticks here in Draper, like up in the Suncrest area. It will stick more than it does if you're down, closer to Salt Lake City. If you are down more in the Highland, Alpine, Lehi areas, that will, it ends up not having as much snow, and the snow doesn't stick as much. So again, something to keep in mind, the wind and the snow, kind of more weather conditions. But again, it really does depend what area of Draper you are in, because Draper is a pretty big place, and there are lots of different areas in Draper. Some snow a lot more, some snow a lot less, some are windier, some are not. So just knowing the neighborhoods too will really help you out. Number 3, living here in Draper, is going to be just the mountains and the sunsets and the sunrises that are here in Draper that you get to experience. Just because you are a little bit higher up, you are going to get some spectacular mountain views. You are going to get some spectacular sunsets, some spectacular sunrises, and it really is just a gorgeous place. And one of the things that I also notice here, like the mountains, when you're coming in the fall time, you just see all the different changing colors of the trees and bushes and everything that are around. So the leaves and everything up here in Draper tend to be a little bit more spectacular than some of the places down below, but just the views are incredible. Number 3, a con of something that we are noticing more here in Draper is just the congestion with traffic. More people are finding out about Draper, more people are finding out, are moving here to this area. And because of that, it's become a little bit more congested. The traffic still isn't terrible, but sometimes they've put in more stoplights, more stop signs than we have seen in the past years. But overall, it's pretty, it's pretty good relative, but there is an increase in traffic, so something to also be aware of. Number 4, a pro for living here in Draper, again, kind of goes along with accessibility, but just the number of schools that are very good. They've got great schools here, close to shopping, close to a lot of different restaurants. You're also fairly close to, like I said, Salt Lake City and all the surrounding areas there too. So you're a lot closer to, malls and shopping, things like that as well here in Draper. So that is definitely a big pro for many here too. A con for Draper, many of you may know this, but some of you may not know this. Draper has a large prison, yes, a prison, a jail that is here. And one of the things they're doing is they're actually relocating that. Sorry, remember I told you it was windy here? my tripod's like blowing over. So they are actually moving that jail out more toward the Salt Lake City, past the airport is where there are plans for it. And they are going to be making that where the prison is right now, they're actually going to be making that more into like the downtown area, and they're going to beautify it, make it really nice. So that is something that some people are like, ooh, well, I don't want to live really close to a prison. Like that doesn't sound like somewhere I want to live. But it's been, for a lot of people, it's a non-factor just because of where it's located in Draper, and a lot of the residential is not near that. And they're actually taking, like they said, they're making that into some commercial and, making it more of the downtown area. So again, something to be aware of. And number 5, for all of you dog lovers out there and pet lovers, Draper is an extremely pet-friendly city and a very pet-friendly area. There are dog parks here in Draper that are very well known. And just the number of trails that are right next door to a lot of different residential areas, and on a lot of the trails too, they have, the pet-friendly little, doggy drops for your dogs. So again, it's just very, very pet friendly with the parks, with the trails, with easy accessibility to different things. Number 5, con of living here in Draper, unfortunately, is going to be the increase in house prices that we have seen here. And lots of people are moving here, and because of that, because there is so much demand and the supply has dwindled down, the prices and the cost of living here in Draper is more than it would be in some of the other cities. So it is a little bit more costly to live in Draper because it is a really desirable place, because of the accessibility, because of the schools, because of the restaurants, because of the mountain views and all of that. So if you are thinking about making a move out here to the Utah area, we would love to connect with you. So feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email, and it would be our absolute pleasure to connect with you. Take care and have a great one. Bye.